Welcome to this week's video. If you're here and watching, thanks, we appreciate it. I hope you had a great week. Not going to be an exciting video this week. I promise there will be some exciting ones coming. Just wanted to throw in a little update on the Denali and the Grand Prix and kind of let you know where things are with that. I started to film a time-lapse video of putting the radiator in the Denali the other night, and it got dark on me. I was doing it under the carport, and when I say that, I know you're probably thinking, well, you need a shop. Well, believe it or not, I have two that I can work out of and two that I have projects scheduled throughout. One is a little more neat and tidy, and it's the one here at the house. We'll probably do a video on a shop tour or both shop tours. But I am fortunate enough, my dad has a shop and I have it just full of crap randomly inside and out, and projects we need to get to, as well as a shop here. So I just chose to do it outside that night, and I do that a lot. I don't know why I don't pull them in, but believe it or not, I do have one. So we will do some projects in there in the future. But with that being said, I'm going to throw the time-lapse video, what I have of me replacing the radiator on the Denali in the end of this video, and I'll kind of briefly go over what I did real quick. And might even throw a bonus video in this week so we have something a little more exciting to watch and go over. And then probably next week or the week after, I'll get the tailgate video posted. I've just been working a lot of hours between the construction and then mowing on the side. It's starting to dry out, but this week just happened to fall where I had most of my accounts to mow. I hadn't been there in 2 to 3 weeks. So we're in desperate need of rain. So we will get to the tailgate video. I have all the materials. Just want to take time to actually film a quality video, and part of it might be time-lapse as well. But either way, bring you along for that process. I'm really excited to do the Ford. I don't know why. It's a big pile, or honestly, but it's a good work truck, and I think it'll be fun to toy around with. So with that being said, let's just get into the updates on the cars. So on the Grand Prix, nice headlights I redid. Can't even find the head latch. Alright. Does have a dent right there. We hit a deer and I fixed the rest of it. You would never know. That's maybe story time, you know, who knows. It is not real clean under here. I need to finish cleaning it up. Never really have done much with this car other than the interior and exterior cleaning it up. Since I bought it, haven't really done much under the engine bay. In fact, when I bought it over 2 years ago, I think, I said I need to replace that battery. Well, that battery is still the same battery. It works fine, so I've not replaced it. But with that being said, let's just get to why I'm even under here. This is the thermostat. We had talked about, we thought it was the thermostat, or the thermostat housing, sorry. We talked about it going down, thought it was possibly the thermostat. We got the thermostat put in, and it is still getting hot. With that being said, we have diagnosed that the water pump is not working, which I kind of assumed, but I was hoping I'd just get lucky, and instead of using all my knowledge to figure that out in the first place, we were just going on a hope and a prayer. But with that being said, it is two 10mm bolts. There's one right there. It has a little nut with a stud on it, but it stays solid. And a 10mm right there. You pop those two out, pop this housing up, and you put the new thermostat, pull the old thermostat out, clean it up, and put the new one in, and tighten it back down. I'm sure there is a torque spec on it. I just snug it down. If you're not very familiar with working on cars, I wouldn't suggest just snugging something down like that, as you might get it too tight or too loose. But anybody that does work on cars watching this would understand what I mean by that. So that is the update on it. We're gonna get a water pump. I will do a time lapse on me replacing it. It's really no big deal. We're gonna pop this belt off. The water pump pulley is, it's hard to see, but it's this pulley right here. and we'll pop the pulley off, and we'll probably loosen the pulley, pop the belt off, pop the pulley off, and then I forget how many bolts is holding the water pump on, but we'll do a whole video on that. Being said, let's just get right into the Denali. Here's the old radiator. I can show you the crack in the old radiator here. It's hard to tell, but right here, I don't know if you can see that or not, there is actually a crack, and that is what cracked and caused it to leak. I've actually had this happen on numerous vehicles. I had it happen on a Cavalier that was my wife's. I've had it happen on my mom's Buick Century. It's like a 2002. I've had it happen on my dad's old 4.3 Vortec. I think it's a 97 or 98 pickup. And now on the Denali, these plastic ends on these factory radiators get hot and brittle, and eventually just can't take the heat, and they crack under pressure and heat over time. Is my only theory to that. You really don't see that common when they're newer vehicles, but as they start to age and get old and brittle, I have ran into this numerous of times. I don't know if it's like that. I'm sure it's like that on some other vehicles, but most definitely a GM thing. So you can expect that to happen along with fuel pumps, water pumps, anything that is common for a GM over time to go bad. The radiator is going to be in that maintenance, guaranteed at some point. Might take a couple 100,000 miles and some years, but it's going to happen. With that being said, let's just get right into it. I'll explain on this one what we did, and then I'll go over to the new one and show you, because it's easier with this one out. There are 4 radiator hoses to this thing, technically speaking. 2 main ones from the block to the radiator and back in. Main radiator hose here and main radiator hose down here. So you will take the clamp off and you will pop those off. This will be a little coolant hose that actually goes to I'm assuming the intake runners are throttle body. It's a 6.0 LS and a 04 Denali, so assuming that went to something like that. Not really sure where it goes, just know it runs up that way. And then this one, which will run to your coolant reservoir, which is how you actually fill the coolant, as these don't have a radiator cap. Then there will be 2 training cooler lines right here and right here. There is a little C-clamp. I call it a C-clamp. It's not really a C-clamp, and I actually can probably take a video or put them in, or it might even be in the time-lapse video. I'll look back, and if so, then I won't bother with grabbing it. But it pops in right here. The line goes in, and then a little clamp goes behind the flare, and that's what keeps it secured and from coming out. I hate these clamps, but it's a GM thing, especially for trainees, and you just kind of got to deal with them. Some of them are easy. The training coolers were easy on this one. The oil cooler side was not. So long story short, you will take the 2 training cooler lines out, those coolant lines I talked about, and then on the other side you will have your oil cooler lines. And to put this in perspective, this will be the driver's side, and the training cooler lines will be on the passenger side of the vehicle, so with the radiator in the vehicle. This is an oil cooler side. Same thing, lines pop in here, big old clamps go on here, and that's what holds the flare metal lines from coming out. These were harder to get out, maybe because they're bigger. They make a little stiffer clip, and the clip's just naturally bigger, so that's what makes it harder. Harder to get out, harder to get in, but still not too bad. So that's the old radiator. Oh, and then this is where the bolts go. Rubber mounts with the bolts. It's got a rubber mount with a little metal sleeve in the side, that in the center of it, inside, that the bolt goes through to bolt the radiator to the Denali. So that is how it's mounted in, and that is all it takes to change it. However, there are some stuff I take out of the way just to get it out of my way, and it makes it easier to move around and work when I do that kind of thing. So the only other thing I'll show you about the old radiator is it did have some dirt daubers with it and some bugs. So pretty gross right there. Just kind of lets you know what makes it through your radiator and past the AC condenser and still to the radiator. So with that being said, let's move over here to the Denali and just kind of look at it. And it is running great. It actually is. I love this thing. She's an old girl, but I love it. We're gonna clean up the headlights on it like we did the Grand Prix and some other things. Eventually we'll go over the whole Grand Prix. It's been just a fun little extra beater with a heater and AC I drive. So to start off with, you'll see it in the time lapse. I take this thing off. You don't have to take it off at all. It does nothing, stops nothing. It just allowed me to have a little more room, and I like to be able to see, especially when I knew it was going to be getting night out when I did this. Then I take this air breather tube out of the way that gets out of the way. Then what I did was I took out the fan shroud. There are two little plastic clips that hold the top of the fan shroud to the bottom, and it's one right there and one back here, same as the other side. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, same as the other side. And this little knob's what lines it up on the top one. So you pull those two plastic clips on each side, so you'll have 4 of them. You pop the top off, and then the bottom of the fan shroud will actually walk back over to the old radiator. The bottom of the fan shroud just sits in there and slides down onto these little clamps that are on the radiator. So once you have the top out, you can take the bottom loose, and I didn't even take the bottom out. I just set it down in the bottom, or set it down in here, and it rested. I then took my tranny and oil cooler lines off. See the other one down there? Off. I then took my radiator hoses loose, the big ones, and then my small ones. Once I did that, I unbolted the radiator, which is mounted there, and if you zoom all the way over here, right there, I unbolted it. Then you just slide the radiator out. All this stuff is out of your way at that point. You pop it up and out, and then you slide the new one in, and it goes back together just how you took everything out. The only thing I did miss is when you take the top fan shroud off, after you pop the little plastic clips, it does have 2 10mm bolts up here you got to take out, and then the top pops off, but that's no big deal. So back to where I was. Once you get it out and you slide the new one in, and you get everything bolted back up, you top your coolant back off, let the vehicle run and get warm, make sure you get all the air bubbles out, you top your tranny fluid back off, and you top your oil back off. You don't lose a whole lot of oil or tranny fluid. I lost like a quart of oil and even less than a quart in tranny fluid. For those of you who don't know, when you check tranny fluid, you should leave the vehicle running and then park. As far as I know, I have heard people say you should put it in neutral. I've always done it in park. That's with most automatic transmissions. If you're not sure, you can look at your owner's manual or vehicle service manual or whatever, and you can look it up or find it on Google, I'm sure. So that's all it took, and the Denali is back together and up and running. We are going to do some cool stuff with it soon, I promise. We'll do a more exciting video. I don't know, we'll get into that later, but I have done a few things to kind of prep this, as I knew I was going to do stuff. I have the gaskets for the exhaust, and I don't even know, I'm not even going to get into that list. I'll have to look. I know I have some things I've ordered, but long story short, we got it all going and doing great. Just leave this open for now. And that is the update on the vehicles. I know this is a little drawn out video and a lot of talking, and I'm sorry for that. I noticed in the last video I did a lot of jabbering, and that a lot of and back and forth, and I think some of that's just being shy to the camera. I will get better. We are going to continue to post videos. Promise there's some exciting stuff coming up. I just wanted to get a video out this week and give you an update, and there it goes with the ands again. Got to get better at that. I'm just kind of socially awkward when I'm talking anyway, when I first get to know you. So you can imagine as I'm talking to a camera and not knowing who is going to view this or not view this, and it shouldn't matter because I'm just kind of keeping it all for documentary. But if you're here watching, great to have you. Great that you actually have some entertainment from it or want to watch. If not, that's great too. So I just can't wait to keep producing videos, and like I said, watch for the bonus video this week. We're gonna do some fun stuff and kind of break up the monotony, and then we'll get back into some more slower paced videos. And as I get some things fixed and get some things rolling and going into the holiday season, you'll get to see a lot more fun and a lot more trips. And yeah, so anyhow, there's the update on the vehicles, and I think that's it for today. So I challenge yourself this week to do something same as last week you would normally do, whether it be post a video, do some push-ups. I don't know, maybe there's a project you wanted to start that you've just been putting off. I challenge you to take 30 minutes, an hour to yourself this week, one day after work, on the weekend. If you can take more time than that, great. And just focus on what you've been wanting to work on, and I promise you'll feel a lot better. It goes to show everybody has problems. We constantly have stuff breaking. I think I break more stuff than I keep together, whether I'm trying to break it, whether I self-inflict it, or whether stuff just breaks like it has been lately. It's just a part of life, and it's easy to let that get you down. Don't. Keep your head up, keep pushing. It will get better. It's crazy to think, looking back years ago, I used to want all this. I used to want a house, I wanted a family, I wanted kids, and I wanted 3 to 6 vehicles in the driveway, and all these projects, and and all that's great, and I am so blessed to have all of it, but it takes time, and I promise you'll get there. And it's easy to forget, even when you get to where you used to want to be, to get self complacent and forget, oh, it wasn't too long ago or a few years back I didn't have all this, or I hadn't made it this far. So before I get too much in jabbering and off topic there, just remember, everybody goes through stuff. Just keep your head up, look back to where you were a few years ago, or 5 years ago, and 10 years ago, and I'll promise you'll probably say, oh wow, I have done a lot. And more is to come. Just keep striving for better, keep your head up, keep pushing, and it'll come. And try to have a good attitude. I've just gotten to the point where, something happens, it is what it is, we'll fix it, and surely something better is coming along. So that's all I got to say. Hopefully this inspires somebody, and I hope you guys have a great week, and we will catch you with the bonus video. Till next time. All right, guys, well, it's getting pretty dark, so I'm just gonna show you. I got all the oil cooler lines undid, the radiator hoses. I've just got the reservoir hose and the little one left to do. So it's getting dark, so I'm actually just going to get it all done, and I will take a video tomorrow and put in with this, and then I will post it. So I'm not going to jabber too much. I'll just get it done tonight, and then I can show you the finished product tomorrow.